Hey everybody, it's Tom at Talent Guitar Works. Sorry this video is coming out so late, but it's been a hectic week. It started out with the band that I was working with. Had a show out in Rotunda West, and they did really good. And I wish them a lot of luck, and gonna miss them. And it was fun while it lasted, but all things must come to an end. So that was that. And then I came back in the shop, and I had my friend Rick Raleigh had sent me 2 bass guitar necks from Minnesota. Now this is a Fender style precision neck, and I say style because I am a proponent of replacing bolt-on necks instead of repairing them. However, this was done by a luthier in Europe someplace, and it doesn't have the same specs at the heel or at the nut as a real Fender precision bass. And somewhere over time, somebody went to repair the truss rod and didn't know that and put the wrong one in. And it wasn't working, and they epoxied the fretboard on, which is also a no-no. Don't use expanding glue on fretboards or guitar parts. And so I had to remove the fretboard, replace the truss rod, replace the fretboard, the new bone nut, new frets, and new inlays, and this is ready to roll on down the road. Now, the second neck he sent me was an Ibanez SDGR 805. Now, that neck also doesn't have any replacements available. So I'm waiting on the carbon fiber truss rods because that neck has a twist in it. And the method I use to take the twist out is utilizing the StewMac Dan Erliewine neck jig. I put the guitar neck in a sacrificial body in the jig, and I put one tuning machine on the high side of the twist. I attach a guitar string to that down to a cleat, and as I apply moist heat to the guitar neck without the fretboard, I slowly tighten that guitar tuner to bring that side back level. Now it takes a few days to do that, and I'm only turning that tuning machine once every about 15 minutes, and it's only while the heat and the moisture is there. Now, once it's set and it's level, I let it dry out, and when I can remove the tension from the string without it rotating again, it's ready to be marked up for the route for the 2 carbon fiber rods to be put into their channels. Now, a lot of people don't like carbon fiber rods in their guitar necks. They say it's too stiff against the truss rod, yada, 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 whatever. Hey, Rickenbacker puts 2 truss rods in their 12 strings and in some of their basses, so it's all the same stuff. So we got that going. Then the next thing was I had a hazed finish on a urethane finished guitar, polyester urethane, and I did a deep dive on wet buffing urethane to remove haze. Now I did a video before on how to remove the haze from a lacquer finish using Bellin blush remover, and that's the easy way to do it. And that's out there and you can still get it. And I tried to remove the blush from the urethane finish using my StewMac buffing wheels with my bar cutting agents, and it wasn't working. It was building up too much heat. So the wet system. I got these pads that fit my orbital sander from Harbor Freight. And there's a medium cut, a fine cut, and a low cut pad, and they're color coded, and they fit on my orbital sander, which meant I didn't have to buy a buffing bug, and I can use my fine 3M solvent or cutting material or whatever you want to call it, paste wax basically, to buff these guitars out and remove all the haze, and it works great. It's more akin to like spit shine in a combat boot than it is to the traditional buffing I did on the big wheel that's mounted in the back of the shop. So I'm glad I did it, and it worked, and I'll be using it again, I'm sure. And I just wanted to pass that on to you. Now, the other thing I was working on this week was getting all the parts in line for my buddy Chris Mitchell's Telecaster Elite that was only made in 1982 and 83. And I know somebody's going to say, no, they make Telecaster Elites now. This one had the active, fully encased white P90 pickups. And it had the 4 knobs on it. And it wasn't 2 volume, 2 tone. It was 1 volume and 3 tone that included a TBX boost in there, and it was a complicated system with a three-way lay-down switch like an SG would have, and I had to get all the parts. Well, I called Fender Parts, and they said they didn't have the schematic, and they didn't have parts for that guitar. So I reached out to my buddy Joe, and Joe said, not only do I have the schematic, I know the part number for the current part. They use the same TBX mid-boost and board in the Stratocaster mod. So I got those ordered, and they're here. I'm just waiting on a couple of pots because the TBX board that I ordered didn't come with the 25K pot, and I have some 1 meg pots coming also that go in that unit. So that will be getting back together later. They only made that guitar for 2 years. And I'm not sure it was a great idea because I've never seen them re-release that one. And I've never seen the pickups available, and a lot of people don't talk about it. So we're gonna keep a rare guitar still playing, even if it wasn't the best of guitars. It's still a pretty cool instrument. So that's been it for this week, besides me getting air conditioning in the shop. So now I won't be fighting with the Gulf of America out there and the humidity problems. I could keep the shop humidity kind of standard now and do that year round. Now, of course, since the air conditioner's been in, the morning temperatures have been like 59, 62, 63, nothing that requires air conditioning, right? Well, that's all right. Soon enough, it'll be 100 degrees outside, I'm sure. So this is Tom from Talon Guitar Works, reminding you only half my ideas are any good. You have to decide which half, and we'll catch you next week. Bye.